No copyright infringement was absolutely intended. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the video. What do YouTube? This is your boy Cherry Speaks. I want to talk to you guys about Arrow Season 6, Episode 12, All for Nothing. Alright, y'all. So, as we all remember from last week, Cayden James asked Oliver, put $70 million up in the bank account, offshore bank account, do that continuously, which will bankrupt Star City. And now he has a lot of Argus agents out in the water searching for the bomb. Now, if y'all remember as well, Cayden James knew about this ahead of time, so he possibly has a trap laid for them. And as we can see, oh crap! So Cayden James was playing right along for this. He put tasers all in the water to kill the Argus agents right then and there. Argus happens to be like their last ditch effort, in order to stop Cayden James, which means they're basically on their own. So they're gonna have to suit up and take down Cayden James with all they really have as a team. Yes, as the full-flown Team Arrow. They keep wiring money to Cayden's account, which is draining the city, obviously, of their funds. Theo's wondering if they can, talk to the federal government. Don't they have things in place for such a thing? Honestly, they should, but then the federal government would have their hands tied with that as well. And then, pretty much, as far as like making safe houses for every citizen of Star City, that's going to be very costly as well. But that being said, Cayden James has thought this out really, really well, man, because they Team Arrow. Man, I feel so bad for Oliver and Co. because, right now, as we see the news, the hostage crisis is still going on with Cayden James. Pretty much the, sorry about that, hair in my mouth. Oliver being the mayor, he's trying to keep all the people at ease, make sure they don't worry about it. Quinn's looking at it on his iPhone, watching the news coverage, which is terrible. He sees Laurel right behind him. She takes a picture. He takes a picture of her. Which means she must want to confront Quentin about something, but every single time he tries to, she goes away. And I must say, Michael Emerson, who plays Cayden James, is a great actor. I've never seen someone play a bad guy like this. Now we see Dinah meeting up with Vince. Now, mind you, I can really tell with how this is going that we might see a lot of flashbacks of how Dinah and Vince met. A few prequels of their first big case and how Vince's face got like that. And he was Vince is pretty much giving Dinah, his rundown of what Cayden James is got planned next. He told her, listen, I'm so sorry what happened to Argus agents. I didn't know that he was planning that. He doesn't plan things until after something happens. He said, now you believe me, right? Like, don't you trust me, right? To which she kisses him. She says, does that answer your question? Which I think is so damn. Alright, now that's really odd. 5 years ago we got from here. This is our first flashback of when Vince and Dinah first met each other on their big operative case, undercover case in Central City PD. Yeah, Central City PD. Now, why does that ring a bell? Vince is being the charming self-person he is. He said, "Yeah, I heard a lot about you. Oh, man, you're really pretty. He's complimenting her and things like that. Flirting with her. There you go, Vince. Oh boy." He's pretty much debriefing Dinah about the person that they're investigating. He said, he's really smart. He doesn't divulge much information. So just be careful, be on your P's and Q's. And right now we see Kozlov, Cayden, and Vince meeting up. He said, "Hey, how come I wasn't invited to this little meeting?" Pretty much I can tell Cayden feels like there's a big old snitch in the group, so he's a traitor in the group. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot the dragon. The dragon's in the group too. Having a little discussion on who's the traitor of the group. Obviously, we all know that. That it's Vince, aka Vigilante. But they don't necessarily. Cayden doesn't necessarily know that yet. Vince says, "Sounds like you are, saying that I'm a traitor here. He said, well, I don't really know. I'm not really certain of anything. Alright, so Cayden James is suspicious of Vince's activity, which is very scary for Team Arrow and himself. I mean, they don't. I mean, the last thing he needs is Vince being cut off. After being so close to busting Cayden James and taking him down. This is a very desperate attempt by Team Arrow, might I add. You know, so I'm wondering. Hypothetically speaking, if Vince gets killed, then what happens next? I mean, I know Dinah's gonna want revenge and wants to kill Cayden James even more, and whoever is associated with him, of course. But I mean, like, what's next? Like, isn't there? Is there a new traitor? I mean, because hopefully they get some data from whatever happens. Right now Oliver and Felicity are talking about after all this is going on, should they go to Aruba for a honeymoon? Because they need it, man. They haven't had one of those evenings forever. Not even actually. Now, mind you, Vince has a comm system on. He's doing some recon. And he's basically, being their inside man, being the mole, as they call it. Right now Vince is at a rendezvous point. And mind you, he's also working side by side with, the other half of Team Arrow, Dinah, Curtis, and Renee. Right now, we just saw Spartan come out of the shadows. And here comes the big man, Mr. Green. Going somewhere? Hey, I'm supposed to meet Cayden James here. You're blowing my cover. So now, Renee and Curtis run up saying, hey, he's a friendly. He had us meet us here. He's with us. He's working against, he wants to stop Cayden James. To which Oliver doesn't obviously trust him because, he's done it before. He's backstabbed him before. And now the whole team meets up at the new compound. Which I admit is a little nicer than Oliver's place, but... So now they're going over their plan on how to stop Cayden James. It's because he loves Vince and he loves Dinah. I mean, because Vince loves Dinah. So now they're going over the plan. They're gonna have to extract, the data, transfer the data from Cayden's server in order to figure out to track where the bomb is going. The Theo biometrical bomb. So, in other words, let me just re-explain that. Vince is gonna have to go in and physically, manually transfer the data from Cayden James' server so then they can track down the Theo biometric bomb that Cayden James has and has it rigged to explode at any moment he sees Team Arrow try to intervene with his plans. Oh my goodness, that was a big mouthful. But as we all know, they try to prevail and do their thing. Now, of course, Vince opted, to do it because he's the mole, but, Dinah is obviously against it because she doesn't want the same thing to happen the first time on their big case to happen again. He said, besides, don't worry, I heal fast. To which Dinah's face was like... Alright, so now Oliver and Vince are about to have a talk. Now we see Theo talking with the accounting, saying that, listen, we can only give you $100,000 for the city. We can't give you more. And Theo's like, listen, I'm going to need you to give me more money than that. More and more money than that. This is for the safe house, for the city, for the citizens. I mean, of course, you can't sell her. You can't really express, like, hey, look, I can only give you so much. But, he's going to have to push harder for some more money, because they need that. Meanwhile, the citizens of Star City need that. Meanwhile, Quentin is trying to get his laurel back. He's trying to change Black Siren from a psychological standpoint and mentality point. If Quentin can get through there with the pictures and things like that, because he's telling Thea that, hey, she's been following me. Maybe she wants to talk. Maybe she wants to, maybe she wants to talk to me, but she's too afraid. So maybe he'll try to convince her somehow and listen to Quentin. Who knows? See, honestly, I thought it was like a lost cause, but then it might just work. We'll see. Alright, so pretty much Oliver, like I said, Oliver pretty much doesn't trust Vince, so Vince reassured him and said, listen, I don't expect you to trust me. I don't really care. I'm just here to do this one job to keep everyone safe, to keep to take down Cayden James. Right now, Dinah and Vince are speaking again. She's worried about Vince. She doesn't feel right. She has this feeling that something's not going to go right, something's going to happen. And she said, listen, he's trying to reassure Dinah and says, listen, that's not going to happen, all right? Vince is just reassuring Dinah that nothing's bad's going to happen. He's going to do what he has to do. So, after, now we get another flashback of their first big case. Dinah being the accountant, and obviously Vince being the henchman. Now, mind you, at this point, Dinah and Vince are obviously an actual couple. Not only just partners, but in the law enforcement, but partners as a couple, as a boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing. Could have been even married, but this is the first big break. This is the first big case, and 5 years ago, which is when the particle accelerator first exploded and gave her powers and Vince's healing ability, if I'm not mistaken. And so, being like this, it's kind of funny to actually see this happen. Him without, that one eye being missing. He said, okay, I can't let a girl walk home by her. But, I don't want to reassure Vince that, listen, they could be watching. They can't see us together. That might blow their cover. So now Dinah, Curtis, and Renee show up at Team Arrow, to go over the plan again. Remember, after Vince leaves, Cayden James' compound or whatever, he's supposed to head over to Helix to transfer the data after he gets done doing that. As a matter of fact, he's already inside right now, actually, getting ready to transfer the data. Obviously, Dinah is more worried than anybody else because that's her boyfriend, that's the woman, that's the man that she cares about dearly and to death. So she obviously doesn't want anything to happen to her. So right now they're watching Vince go through the hallways to find Cayden's server to manually transfer the data to where the biometric bomb is. I'm sorry, that's such a tongue twister. I really apologize if I stutter or get the phrasing wrong. So, the door was like, Felicity just told him the proper code, which is his son's birthday. And it's really messed up because we learned that Oliver really never killed Cayden James' son. It was somebody else, so he's basically being framed. But Cayden James is so grief-stricken that he honestly doesn't believe that, obviously. Right now, we're back. So Cayden James is in the transfer room where the server's at, server room, and Vince has been caught. But like I said, Cayden James is so grief-stricken, that he doesn't really understand that, hey, this stuff is fabricated. And if it's fabricated, the person that framed Oliver the first time, that has FBI on them, then maybe that's the same person that's actually framing Cayden James with the whole "you killed my son" thing. Because, Oliver wasn't there the day that Cayden James' son was killed. And right now we see Vince, smooth talking his way to Cayden James, so then that way the data transfer can be complete. You say, I'm more than just what you think. I'm more than just a guy that knows how to handle guns. I also know about, tech and stuff like that. And Cayden James was like, oh, I'm so surprised at you. Obviously, I underestimated you. Clearly, I'm more than, I'd be a fool not to be afraid of you. And it's really strange, I don't know how you can talk in just that one monotone the entire time. As an actor, man, because Cayden James sounds really distant and just, I don't know, just really far off. But like I said, Michael Emerson, you were a great actor, man. Props to you. My thing is, I wonder who's the other traitor. This is another theory of mine. Because like I mentioned before, if Vince dies, then who is going to be... So obviously that's a close call for Vince. Because that gave me chills just watching it, man. That just gave me, the heebie-jeebies just watching because I didn't want my boy to get caught. Alright, so now, we're going back to another flashback of Vince and Dinah. Their first big operation, covert operation. And somebody that worked on the bad guy's team telling him, like, listen, man, like, I learned you have a cop on your payroll. You know, some shady stuff is going down. Because she doesn't want to take the shipment. She doesn't want to do what she normally does. And that's when we learned that, hey, you got a cop on your payroll. Bet you didn't know that. Now we're back to present day events. Oh, snap. We gotta meet with Cayden James in 5 minutes. Remember, Cayden told him to meet him in 5 minutes. Of course, Vince ain't gonna take that. You down, bruh. Did I teach you that move? No, I taught you that move. Yeah. So, then Vince is about to leave, head out. He said, I'm transferring the data right now. Alright, I'm on my way. So, Felicity just told Vince to take his ass over to Helix, hurry up and take his ass over to Helix, you know, so then he can get out. Alright, back to a flashback. At this point, you know, Vince got a bit bad with Dinah. He said, look, we have enough information to bust this guy. We're done. You know, Dinah says, we guys need to stay in more because we need a little bit more information from the investigation. You know, seeing these flashbacks, man, really gets me, man. I'm like, man, I hope nothing bad happens. So Vince is getting ready to head over to Helix. Cayden James stops him, coincidentally. Say, hey, Mr. Sono. Said, hey, what's the matter here? Well, my girl, you know, seems to be pancreatitis. You know, I have to head over to the hospital. Yeah, I'm sure the doctors are doing what they can. I'm sure she'll manage. We need to have a little meeting about what? You know, a little trader. Yeah, Vince gets saved by Kozlov. What do you know? Alright, so they still haven't, there's no word from Vince yet. Elena's there, debunking the data that Vince transferred over. How long is it going to take? Probably like an hour. You know, Dinah is anxious as ever because, you know, she still hasn't heard anything from Vince. I'm going with you. So, Dinah's going to head over there because she hasn't heard anything from her man yet. So, she's got to head over there. Renee's going with her. I'm going with this is another flashback to the first big case, covert operation. Say, hey, Tina, can I talk to you real quick? There's some information I found out, page 12. Oh, snap. The jig is up. Ah, ha, ha. Yeah. Of course, while Vince is being tied up and tortured, possibly in the next 5 seconds, he says, look, I ain't done nothing to you. I have no loyalty to Oliver Queen. I want to see him go down just as much as you do. Yeah, that's not what I believe. I'm not surely uncertain. I'm not sure I'm certain. So, he's going to get tortured. And the dragon takes a knife to his face. This is remarkable. Now, if I remember correctly, of course, Vince still feels pain, but he heals miraculously. But of course, there's a limit. Like I said, you can torture me all you want to, you still get the same answer. I ain't done nothing, and I'm still uncertain. I get it, Cayden James. You want revenge for his son? What father or parent wouldn't want that? But just look at the facts, bro. You know, now the call out guy says, you know what? In my country, we do things, as you say, dirtier. Okay. Those are some big old hedges. Oh no, those are big old plier type stuff. So we see Quentin go to this little warehouse because Black Siren's been following him. You know, this is his big idea to get her to change her ways because, you know, that's his laurel. You know, in a sense. He said, listen, we need to talk. You've been following me. And she doesn't want to talk. He said, all right, well, just listen. And he's showing her a montage of his daughter. That's what I'm talking about, Quentin, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Get your girl back. Get your daughter back. She was amazing. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And she just does a big sonic scream. He said, I saw my daughter in her eyes. Oh man, I hope that doesn't go away. I really do. But I understand it's a personal thing for Quentin, obviously, because that's his daughter. But he also, I can tell he's a lot lonely because he doesn't have his daughter, either of his daughters or his wife. So who wouldn't want to change the doppelganger of his daughter for good? All right, so Dinah was really worried about Vince because he hasn't checked in yet. They located the bomb. They can't really see much more. But now they're debating whether or not they should go save Vince or get the bomb. Dinah's like, yo, there's no up for debate. This was Dinah. If this was Felicity or Lila, you'd be over there in stat. Vince is being tortured right now. Vince is her family. So she's gonna go over there and get her man. Oliver, stop getting in her way, man. Like, go let her go get her man. Like, let her go get her guy. Like, she said, like I just said, like she just said, like, if this was Lila or Felicity, you guys would be out of there, no question. Like, I feel like this is the one time where I feel like Oliver once again was, intervened when he really shouldn't have. I get that you want to say the city man, but you also got to save your teammates too. Dinah says, listen, guys, I don't need you guys to take me out and talk me out. She's talking to Curtis and Renee. She said, listen, we know you're our family too. I was like, we can't finish them, with half the team, And Renee says, well, we got to figure something out, Hoss. Okay, so Dinah, Curtis, and Renee are at the Cayden James' compound where the bomb is located. Right now, they're taking names. Vince, of course, is still alive. He's hearing gunshots. Vince breaks free. Yeah, chair hockey. There you go, Vince. Take it to him. The Spartan comes through. Big gunfight. Arrow and Spartan taking names. Getting that bomb. Of course, Kozlov and Dragon are about to leave with the bomb. They're driving in separate trucks so that can confuse them. Of course, because they know Team Rail's on their tail. I gotta say, I like John Daggle's gun. It's a combination of a pistol and a magnum. Let's see if they actually have that in their actual stock. So Oliver didn't find anything on his end. East Corridor. Someone's coming up on Oliver. East Corridor. Ooh. Oh, a thing full of hostages and a bomb. How does life, Cayden? You only got 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Anatoly, you bastard. Anatoly's a bastard. I know I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. My apologies. Anatoly is something else. So now Anatoly and the Dragon are hightailing it out of there, which has the actual truck that has the actual bomb. Alright, so explosion just happened with Dinah and Vince briefly reuniting. Oliver still trying to get to the bomb on the rooftop. And he makes it, but those are 4 trucks pull out. Oliver takes a bus. Oh snap! Of course, Cayden James has his people right there. There you go, Oliver. I wish you would have thrown like a tracker or something up on one of the vans. And the explosion happened. Dinah's, pressed up against up on a stone beam. And he says, "All right, I'll get you out of there." Oh, I'm sorry. No, you won't. I would have kept on going. Forget that. Well, Black Siren's right there. So she blows Vince back with a sonic scream. He's pinned. He's actually gotten impaled by a broken piece of bar. His shoulder is pretty much pinned. No, you're pretty acclimatable, Miss Vince. But I wonder how much pain you can take. Oh no, no, no. So Dinah has to see the man she loves get killed again. Now we're at the flashback and the first time he was killed. Now it's like begging him for him not to be killed. And the particle accelerator explodes, and the bullet and the gun goes off, and Dinah screams, and that's how she got her powers. Oh no, this is terrible. Don't do this. And Vince just looking at her. Right in the ear, too. That's terrible. Now Dinah's gonna want to kill them all. Vengeance. She's gonna start with Laurel first, obviously. This is your boy Shay Speaks.